Hey guys, ILene Vick here for Adult Coloring with ILene Vick, and I'm continuing the coloring of the Chinese coloring book. And today I'm going to work on the flowers. There are 3 sets here. There's these here on the kimono. Actually 4 sets. This one, and then we've got the little hair piece that we need to contend with. Already did the flower and the hair. Just felt inspired to do that. Okay, as you can see, I have finished up the coloring of the hair. I think it turned out great. Looking good. All right. So one of the things that I've mentioned about Chinese coloring in the past, and I'll do it again now, is that to me, in Chinese coloring, the colorings are very light and delicate. In the Japanese coloring, that's where you see the bold red and blacks and self blues, that sort of thing. So to me, that's what distinguishes the two. I think it would have been out of place to color this like a bold red because of the Chinese. So that's why I went with the more subtle blue. A nice green would have worked. A nice gold would have worked. A pale pink would have worked because obviously that's what I did there. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on my feeling about that. All right. So I'm going to start with the flowers here. All right. Give me a moment here. All right, so the colors that I'm going to use, I decided, is I'm going to go with a very discreet goldish yellow and a little bit of pink, and then of course the green for the leaves. So I'm using the Guanghai, and that is the 099, and I'm also using Guanghai 155, and then I'm using the Sooty Style 037. All right. So let's get coloring. All right, so I'm going to show you how these colors are going to look. Here's the Guanghai. $0.99. And here is the 155. They are very similar in color. Let me see if I can show you a difference here. You can see that this is a little bit darker gold. All right, one thing I'm going to be doing now, let me find my napkin. Pull you out just a little bit. Just going to start with all these flowers in here. And let's see. All right, so we've got several things now to keep in mind. First of all, we've got some folded parts of the flower, so that's going to be a little bit darker. Let me adjust my light here a moment. All right, so now I'm on the inside here. Very pale. I hope everybody's having a great week. It's, let's see, Wednesday, February 5th. Oh. And again, as I've always told you, of course, we're starting out very, very light as we are determining our values. Let's see, so those are leaves, that's fine. Yeah, let me sharpen my pencil. And I'm comfortable with just using my finger just to smooth this out. I'm okay with that. Yeah, I think that's looking really good. And I am going to go ahead and get my blender pencil. go ahead and just judiciously blend all of this, just to give myself that smoothness. Again, on this quality of paper, you don't want to blend too much or else the gray starts coming up. And that doesn't benefit anybody. Okay. Now, in itself, that looks okay, but there's no life to it, no interest to it. So now I'm going to get my darker gold. After I sharpen it. And there are two areas now where I'm going to start to darken a little bit on the edges and where these creases are. And there's a little shadow right there. Yeah, my lead's going to break. We've got a little bit of shadow where one part of the one flower is on top of the other. You can start to seeing this pop. Watch how I'm following the lines of the flowers and kind of outlining them. There's a dark fold right there that I missed earlier. Pretty. And there goes my lead. Look at that depth. and how much this has really brought that out. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead with my finger and I'm going to blend all that. I'm just afraid if I do it with my blending pencil that it's going to rip up more paper, but I want this to look very soft. That's the whole idea. And then where these leaves are at the bottom, I'm going to give a little depth to that as well. Oh yeah. So let me pull out so you can see how that looks overall. Yeah, I'm really liking that. I think we're in really good shape with that. All right. And forgive me camera wiggle, but I gotta get that lined up. There we go. Now I'm going to color a little bit down the center. Oh, I'm so sorry. Down the center of the leaves, the petals. It's a little bit of a hint of a streak. And that way this little guy won't look flat at all. Now notice the difference between all these that I've done and this last one that I didn't do. See the difference? It makes it look like there's some folds in there. Yeah. Looking good. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of pink and I'm going to tinge the tops of the flower. Totally optional here. If you like it without the pink, have at it. Yeah, I think that's looking really good. Now, one thing I want to point out to you, here's my test paper with my yellows. I want to show you something with this pink. See how dark and purplish that looks just on the white paper? And I don't know why that isn't focusing. Let me pull out and pull back in. Yeah, there we go. But watch what happens when I go on top of the yellow. See, it goes on a totally different color. So you need to be aware of that when you're choosing your colors, and that's why you test them on paper. I didn't like that for the tips, but I like that on the yellow. All right, excuse me while I take a little bit of water. And again, adding the pink is totally optional on the tips. And again, right now, close up, it's gonna look a little squirrely. But when we look at it from what normal distance would be, you know, like you're eyeballing it, I think you're gonna see how sweet this looks. You may look at this and say, ugh, puke. You may look at this and say, wow. Okay, and then I'm going to take my finger because I want this to be soft. And I'm going to blend all of it. Okay. There you go. Let me get my light off of it so it doesn't look as harsh there. Okay. So now we've got the leaves and the stem to do. I am eyeballing my very light green. All right, so I've got my Guanghao 066, and I have my Crayola twistable green. By the way, these things are cheap as dirt, but oh my gosh, I love them. Love them. All right, pull in just a little bit. And again, I want you to keep in mind while I'm coloring this that I am in like uber close-up view. Now, I did a very light green on one side of the leaf and a little bit darker on the other, just to give it a little bit of contrast. All right, now I'm going to take my darker green and I'm going to go down the centers of the leaf and off to the side just a little bit. Give that puppy some color. All right, same here, underside of leaf, a little darker. And I apologize on this one, I did go off to the sides a little bit more like this. Just a little bit, just to give a little depth. This one here, I am gonna stay closer to the center. All right, so we've got a leaf here. And I missed a little one right there. All right, now we're gonna come down here. And a little darker on the underside of this leaf. And then this leaf down the center again, a little off to the side on one side. Down the stem. And again, it looks pretty wonky close up. But when you see it from a distance, let me find my eraser here. Okay. And I got off the side a little bit right there, so we'll fix that. Okay. And now I'm going to take my cream pencil, which is ivory actually, and I'm going to go over that to blend it. And after cleaning off my pencil, I'm going to go over this as well because I want to soften up that whole thing. And like I said, if I use my blender pencil, it's just going to tear into the paper. So now I'm just muting this whole color scheme. Okay, and then I'm going to take my darker pencil and I'm going to very lightly do the stem. And then I'm going to sharpen that little puppy. And I'm going to color one side of the stem darker. See that? And by the way, I skipped a space right there just to give it some more visual interest. So I colored that darker, lifted my pencil, went down there, and went down there. Oh, got a little piece here. Okay. And let me pull this out now so that you can see the whole thing and the whole effect. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead, a little quicker this time because you've seen how I've done this. And the reason that I added the pink into these flowers, if it haven't occurred to you, is I've got the pink here and the pink here. So now this is making it one cohesive coloring. All right, now I'm going to use my darker gold. Outline these leaves real quick. And I'm going to hit it with a little pink. Which again, I told you is totally optional. If you don't like the addition of the pink, don't add it. Okay, then I'm going to hit it with my ivory. And just refresh your memory that the color like ivory can be used to blend colors when you don't want to use your blender pencil. Okay. Then I'm going to do my light greens, my leaves. Green in there. Now this is the underside of the leaf right here, so I'm going to go ahead and make that guy darker. I'm going to hit that line just a little bit, but I'm not going to go all the way over to where I darken that. Darken that center. Tip broke. underside of the leaf here. And I am going to blend one thing because that line looking right there is looking pretty harsh. Okay. All right. Now you can see how I'm building the colors on this to make everything cohesive. Okay? All right. I'm going to hit that with my finger. Now, I'm not going to do the flower in her hair yet because I don't know yet what I want to do with that. Let me see something on this pink. I am going to use my blender pencil to blend in that pink a little bit. I noticed that it looked a little like it's sticking out. We got to make that come in a little softer. Remember, we're dealing with the Chinese theme here. Okay. All right, so down to the flower on her OBI, by the way, is what it is. And do something a little bit different here, but essentially the same. Now, you may wonder why I'm not doing this a different color. It's because in the Chinese and Japanese culture, you want to think harmony. And yeah, I could have used a different color that would have harmonized. But I wanted to keep the consistency. Okay, it looks like this is a leaf, so, and that is the flower right there. And that's two more leaves there. Boy, that's annoying when you can't tell. So that's what I'm gonna do. Sometimes you just gotta make a decision. Sorry for the jarring again. I'm gonna get rid of the pink right there. Get rid of the pink right there. Very, very carefully. You saw what happened when I got overzealous on the medallion. But these areas are just so teeny tiny. I'm literally doing this through the screen now of my camera. There we go, so I can see it because I'm zoomed in. All right. So just for the purpose of defining where I am, I'm going to go ahead and color in the leaf. Oh, that's tiny. Okay. Now, I did scrape away some of the ink on the one leaf, so I am going to go ahead with a very narrow pen that I have. And repair that. And that is not narrow enough. Hold on, please. See if I can find a thinner pen point. Yeah, try this one. Nope. All right, we'll live with it. I do not have a pen that narrow. Okay, so because of that ink, which I'm going to let dry, I'm going to go ahead for now and darken this top part of the leaf just to give us a little bit of contrast. I'm going to darken there, and right where that black is, I'm going to go ahead and darken there. It looks messy close up, but when you look at it in the distance, it's a lot better. Okay. So down to the flower area, got a lot of white, white showing through. I am going to go ahead and use my blender pencil. But after I use it once, I won't use it again because of the paper. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to use the darker gold and just give it a little bit of contrast in the center. Notice I'm curving with the leaf, or the petal, excuse me. Just a very, very subtle shading with my darker gold. And I think what I'm going to do with the center of that flower. Oh. Give me a moment. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my micro pens, the 005, and I actually should have done it on that leaf, but I didn't, my bad. Although it looks like that would have caused the same problem. And I'm going to go ahead and dot this. Now, I can't hit each dot really, but I'm just trying to do it in such a way that it doesn't smear. And believe it or not, I'm doing this through the camera. I'm using my camera as a magnifier so I can see where I'm hitting this. Yeah. And then I'm going to, wish me luck, very carefully color this in. All right. And I realize that it looks funny right now because I don't have anything to contrast this with, but trust me. All right, so now I'm going to take a brown. And let me see something here. And I do want to show you something. Did you know that you can, this is my Crayola, did you know that you can sharpen them? If you extend the lead, okay, and carefully put it into the sharpener, you can sharpen that point, because I just did it. All right, so here's what I'm going to do next, is very, very lightly going to color this. And then in little areas, I'm going to darken it. And I'm darkening it where it's thicker because that's implying that there is older growth. The younger stuff, I'm going to leave lighter brown. And when I pull away, this will make sense. Oh yeah. Okay. So let me pull out so you can see what I've done this evening. There you go. Let me come out a little further with it. There you go. Now you can see the whole thing. Now, I'm not thrilled with the stem that I colored in. It got a little thicker than what I wanted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my cream pencil, the ivory, and I'm going to go ahead and gently color around it and down. All right, that's better. But I don't want to fuss with it too much or else it's really going to screw it up. Anyway, so that's it. Got some great looking flowers here with the leaves. Got the pattern done on the obi here. I'm going to do a little work on the skin, which I'll show you later. Have to do the flower in her hand yet. The decoration, going to do the background, and then we'll be done. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you learned something. And I hope you had as much fun with this as I did doing it. Let's see if that gives you a little better background here. All right, guys, that's it. This is ILene Vick for Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. And I have continued the project of doing the Oriental Lady. I hope you like what you see. Till next time, bye.